the Rob from 106.1 Kiss FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting, the whole effing show, Ramblin' Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Good morning, Rob. I'm in a much better mood than I was on Tuesday.
It's still technically morning, right? We haven't gone into the afternoon yet, have we? It's a late start. Man, if I come off irritable today, I'm sorry. It's been one of those mornings for me. But I'm here. I'm happy to talk about wrestling. Sorry for the late start, everybody, but we should be good for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so.
About 20 minutes or so, because things are screwy over on my end too, and someone's going to come in this room at some point and kick me out of here.
Yeah, same with me. So you want to just get things started, man?
Let's jump right into it. Here we go. SmackDown live.
Okay, so SmackDown was, I'll get things started on a positive note.
Yes.
While SmackDown was not a great show, I'm going to say, usually I say this for the end, I'm going to say SmackDown was better than Raw.
I didn't think they had much of a hurdle this week.
Correct. That's why.
Because Raw was really bad. SmackDown, I agree, was a better show. And it had points where it really dragged for me. But when we finally get into it, I have a theory about SmackDown, and it was almost like an epiphany, like a revelation that I had during SmackDown Live.
I mean, I only have a few notes, and I have them on my phone, which I know looks stupid, and I usually have them transferred, but it's been such a weird morning, at least for me. What do you want to start with your theory?
My epiphany is this, okay? When you look at everything, like, sure, I don't like the fact that AJ Styles is going to be fighting Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, but I'm going to look past it. I'm going to let that go, and I'm going and I enjoyed the setup Tuesday night. I thought that was as good as they could do. I don't love what they've done with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. There have been some times where it's been really good, and sometimes where it's been the timing's been a little off. While it's a faster show, I feel like it still suffers from some of the same pratfalls that Raw would suffer from. But, and this is hard for me to admit, because Kevin Owens is one of my favorite wrestlers, and Chris Jericho, another one of my favorite wrestlers. I think that the guys on SmackDown, the performers on SmackDown, Miz and John Cena in a mixed tag match that no one was to really care about, they're just better performers right now. They're getting the same garbage. They're just making it work more than the Raw guys. Right, Roman Reigns is not making anything work for me. Brock Lesnar and Goldberg are both falling flat at this point, even with the help of Paul Heyman. So they're both shows are getting garbage, I think. And when I look at WrestleMania, I'm only excited about the SmackDown matches, and it's because they're at least they're executing them better.
Let me first take on what you said about AJ and Shane, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
So here was my epiphany with this, because I had an epiphany too, a little different than yours, but here's my epiphany. And again, there's a plus and a minus with this. The positive epiphany I had was that while I do resent this match, while I don't want to see the match, while I want better for AJ and I don't want Shane to wrestle at WrestleMania, my epiphany was there's no reason this match can't be awesome.
I know. I mean, the brawl backstage, or the attack backstage, was amazing, and it was stiff. You know that I was happy about that. That's my cup of tea. Right.
Okay. So then here was my negative epiphany that I had. My negative epiphany was, and you could possibly answer this for me. I'm going to throw out a legitimate question, and
okay.
it may have a legitimate answer, but it's missing me. So not this Tuesday, but the previous Tuesday, on Talking Smack, which is kind of annoying because Talking Smack gets a lot of great segments that I wish were on SmackDown.
Yeah, right.
But on Talking Smack, AJ had just lost the #1 contender match to Randy Orton. And he comes back all piss and vinegar, all mad at Shane McMahon.
Right.
Why?
Because Shane kept moving the bar. Like, he keeps moving the carrot on a stick. Like, AJ kind of painted it when he came out to the ring, and he explained it. You know, he lost the title. He lost it. That's fine. He didn't get a fair rematch. He never got a one-on-one rematch. Then he gets the Elimination Chamber. Then they say, all you have to do is win a Battle Royal, and you can have the main event. and it's a tie. So then they say, well, all you have to do is beat Luke Harper and you can have the main event. And he does. And then they say, well, all you have to do is beat Randy Orton and you can have the main event. And he doesn't. And then that sticks. And he's just here. He's mad, and he's blaming the guy in charge who is Shane and Daniel. And Daniel Bryan, by the way, his acting is the worst.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? You walked me through that a little bit. I guess I'm a little thin on the premise, just in that this kind of stuff happens a lot. But okay, you walked me through it. Sure. Okay.
It's rushed and it's forced, but
forced is the word I would use.
It at least makes sense.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you now. Speaking of which, when he did come out and explain himself, he had one of what I considered two potential lines of the night. I thought he had a great line when talking about Daniel Bryan. He said, hold on, let me get my phone to make sure I quote it directly. He said, quote, "I could have walked right in there and slapped the kale chips out of Daniel Bryan's mouth."
That was a good one.
Thought that was funny.
My line of the night went to The Miz. When he said, "You're not making matches, Nikki. Who do you think you are, John Cena?"
Well, I had another one. My other one went to JBL, and he said that James Ellsworth looks like Henry O'Godwin's pig. So there were some good lines,
I'm telling you, JBL should be sending Ellsworth a Christmas card, because Ellsworth is like his muse. His best lines are at the expense of Ellsworth.
By the way, while I don't want to sound like I'm not critical at all of Mauro Ranallo, it was kind of refreshing having a two-man commentary team.
Is that permanent? Because I liked it.
No, they explained Otunga's absence by he's filming a movie, and Mauro got they were in Pittsburgh, I think, for SmackDown, so he had a hard time with the snow.
Right.
So
I like the two-man. I wouldn't mind a three-man. Otunga not being there added to the show for me.
Yeah, look, okay, see, and you were hard on yourself because we were negative on Raw on Monday. I thought fairly negative, but we were negative. All we've had is pretty much praise about SmackDown so far.
Well, and I wonder if that's a Raw problem. That's part of the epiphany. Like, I'm looking at Raw. Raw's like, they stack themselves with all these big guys, but then that's the problem, I think. It's just too many, like, boring big guys.
So, okay, I want to talk about the Miz and John Cena thing for a second. I think obviously it'd be redundant to say Miz is doing a great job, because he is.
Oh, he's killing it.
But here's what I want to say. Not only is he killing it, he is saving this for me. And here's I guess you can also refer to this as an epiphany moment, but so we both kind of groaned a little bit when this mixed tag match for WrestleMania started to take shape. Fair. Yeah, we groaned a little bit. We kind of wanted to see better for both of them. Miz is saving this thing for me, because everything he's doing on the mic is just making me want to see this match. So kudos to him. It's really not, I can't say it's the four of them. It's really Miz.
Although creative had better be careful, because Miz and Maurice may not be the fan heels come WrestleMania.
Oh, you mean they could get a face reception at Orlando?
It sure seems that way. I mean, every time they open their mouths and say something about Cena and Bella, they make those two seem like true, honest-to-God villains. And I don't think anybody believes Cena and Bella when they say that's not true.
Basically, I guess my point is that I thought this would be a match I would never have any interest in, and single-handedly, Miz is making me care. So kudos to Miz.
I couldn't agree more. From just little things, from the big things, like when he talks, he's on top of it. I don't think he's ever been better. You said that like 2 weeks ago. For me now, little things, like when Nikki Bella was trying to work the mic, and she's insulting them, and the look on his face is like this real interest, like John Cena's playing the crowd and he's doing, and Miz is just listening with a smile on his face. Like, what? Really? Just little things like that, the Miz is doing perfectly.
Yeah, so when he drops the little, like, not the pipe bombs, but the cherry bombs, where, like, we weren't allowed to talk about Nikki and John on the air. It's just like it's a pipe bomb of sorts, but it's small. It's a little cherry bomb. And
I love the Miz pipe bombs, though.
Yeah, I mean, once in a while you get the pipe bombs, but sometimes he just drops those little cherry bombs, and it's like boom, and like it kind of makes you feel like this is one of the benefits of them being live. Like, would they have cut some of this stuff out if had they had control of it? Like that kind of thing. And Miz is really doing that well.
Yeah. It's the M80 effect. Little M80s. Get them out of your hand. Right.
It's just little Roman candles. Just shoot them off a little bit. And he's doing that well. I don't have a whole lot of other notes, really. I'm not really. You had a different reaction to the AJ Shane thing than me. Whereas I know you love. Okay, so last week, and we didn't talk about this, I talked about it with Eric. I thought that the Corbin Ambrose backstage segment fell flat.
Okay.
And this one didn't fall flat.
I disagreed with that, by the way. I did.
Boy, really? I think you should watch that back because it wasn't the guy's fault necessarily, but the crowd, I don't know if they couldn't see it or if they weren't reacting to it, or I don't know what was going on, but there wasn't enough audio. There was missing something to me.
Do you know why there was no audio? Because it wasn't happening live. They said this had happened earlier in the night before SmackDown Live started.
Okay, but then why couldn't we hear the crowd?
Okay, why couldn't you pipe in the crowd the second time?
Yeah, their live reaction, or I don't know, but I think that it came off poorly. Okay. And I'm not blaming Ambrose and Corbin. It's just something about it didn't carry over.
I don't think you should have two back-to-back backstage attacks, though.
There's that, right, where the highlights of the show are really those backstage attacks. This one didn't fall flat, so to speak. Like, it was explosive and memorable and what a backstage attack should be. I'm just really not a fan of this angle, especially how forced it's become over the past week. And also, so I, as you could probably tell, I don't like the way this angle got started. I don't think it's legit. I don't think it's a real feud. I think it's, kind of like them forcing a Mania match together, which happens all the time, but I'm resenting it this time for some reason. And then on top of that, you throw in the fact that it happened on Talking Smack, so I didn't witness it. And I even watched SmackDown Live at this point. Like, you've got me on Tuesdays. That was a big hurdle to overcome. I'm usually watching you guys on Tuesday night, but now I'm still missing the best parts of the show. That's pissing me off, Yeah,
the SmackDown Live, the Talking Smack is irritating because I'm missing that. I'm not able to watch that.
It's not happening either.
I'm able to, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. So, right, I'm able to. I'm just not going to. Precisely.
But for me, while I shared your resentment with this match between AJ and Shane, but I just decided, like, I'm not going to let the fact that they forced it and made it stupid affect me anymore with this match, because Shane does. I mean, it's like this. It's like if everybody else is operating here all the time, and then woo, look at that, woo, look at that spot, whoa, that was a good one. Shane's like here, and then whoa, he jumped out of the cage, or whoa, Angle almost killed him. He's gonna give you those moments, and so I'm okay with it. The only thing that really bothers me is when Shane McMahon fights somebody, he can't win. It'd be ridiculous. So we know who's going to win that match, but I hope they do a good job.
To expand on what you're saying, if you go back about a year and the post-to-post episodes that were leading up to WrestleMania 32, which I was doing with Steve at the time.
That was different.
What do you mean?
We hated that main event, but we hated it for a different reason. I hated it too.
But hold on. My point was, I was excited to see Shane because Shane is good. Shane isn't just average. Shane is good. My resentment is that Shane is not the WrestleMania guy like Undertaker and Triple H.
Okay.
Like, at least they've earned it. It's a spot I resent, but at least they've earned it. Shane's not there. So my point of all this is that the match, there's no reason it will be bad. It shouldn't be bad. I should be excited for it. I'm just pissed that it's happening.
It would be. I think it would be better if they really slow burned it and made it progress slowly, and then have them have a brawl or a backstage brawl, street fight type thing at like Money in the Bank or something like that. It doesn't have to be Mania.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's the Mania guy now, and that upsets me. So, anything else worth talking about? Did you get anything else? I didn't have anything on the women's. The women's division has really shot themselves in the foot with this all roster match.
Yeah, I don't like it. Wyatt and Orton I'm into seeing those two fight.
Yeah, you know, I stopped and I really paid attention to the Wyatt promo, but sometimes he just gets so weird with the way he talks, and I don't mind that style of promo, but I felt like he said nothing.
He doesn't say anything. He's crazy, but he believes it. Like, he's so invested that he believes it, and where if someone else tried to do it, it would be hokey. At this point, Bray Wyatt doing those kind of things, it works for me. Although I'm hoping he doesn't lose, because if you really want him to be like this new born-again Lord of Darkness, now he's really got the power, he'd better have a run.
Yeah, and everything has kind of changed my outlook on this because Cena's not in the title picture. So this changes things, I guess. And, you know, I was really, really angry because I assumed this is going to be Cena's 17 at WrestleMania 33, but it's not. So
that's SummerSlam.
That's fine. I as long as we don't force. I don't like when we force things for Mania. That's obviously where my issue comes in.
Yeah,
you've got a whole year to make things happen organically. Why are we doing it 4 weeks before the show?
Yeah, why are we just handing a title to Goldberg so he can have a title match with Lesnar?
I mean, we're taught to realize that I've always been told they book WrestleMania to WrestleMania, and it looks like WrestleMania gets booked at post Royal Rumble. Like not even at the Royal Rumble do they know where they're going at WrestleMania.
No, it's like from Elimination Chamber to Mania. That's how they book it.
But from Fastlane to Mania. So, okay, man, is there anything you want to throw in there? I'm sure there's probably some stuff we missed, but you know.
The only other note that I had, it involves Shane and AJ Styles. I like the way that they had that be the theme the whole way through.
Well, I'm sorry, AJ and Shane?
AJ and Shane, yeah,
okay.
Sorry. They sprinkled it throughout the show and they progressed it. And I like what they did at the end. I know what they were trying to do, but could you have devalued your tag champs more by just constantly reminding us that Shane McMahon stumbling to the front was more important to watch than the tag champs fighting the Usos?
Yeah, it's really a shame how they have urinated all over their tag division, because do you remember how excited we were for it when like Slater and Rhino won the tag team championships and the whole tournament thing? And I mean, it was in such a really strong place late last year.
It felt like 80s tag stuff for the WWE. It
was in such a good place. And not only that, it was post roster division, post brand extension. So they had half the division to work with, and it was so strong, and they've just ruined it. And what's crazy is arguably the best team has the straps right now, and it's not American Alpha's fault, but they're just being underutilized. The whole division's being underutilized.
Yeah, nobody cares because we've kind of been trained away from them. Our eyes been taken away from them.
Yeah.
So, all right. And then they're given the main event, and then really that's not the main event. The main event is Shane stumbling to the microphone and then giving us 15 seconds of, you got a match.
Yeah. Who saw that one coming?
So I guess he's unfired. AJ Styles is no longer fired.
Hey, at least they did it on SmackDown and not talking smack.
Yeah, you never know what they're going to do.
All right, man.
I hope your day gets better, number 8. I know you've had a weird one.
I'm not having a bad day. It's just been busy and just like, I was on site this morning for a broadcast, and just technology wasn't agreeing with me. You know what I mean? It wasn't bad.
Go home, take your pants off, and play Zelda.
I'm hoping to get to that point, but I still have a lot of work to do here, because the stuff I can usually do during the show, like schedule music or what, I wasn't able to do that on location. So
the best game you've ever played in your entire life?
The new Zelda, which I'm playing on the Switch, Breath of Fire, could very easily be the greatest game of all time. That Jerry is not.
You don't rank things lightly.
No, correct. The greatest game of all time up to this point is like 1992 Link to the Past Zelda. And sometimes, depending on the day, I'll say Resident Evil 1, the remake on the GameCube. So that came out in 2002. So my point is, I don't throw the term greatest game ever made around very lightly. And it looks like Jerry's got to go. So I'm gonna play the music, And I'm going to say thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for watching. And Jerry and I will be back again on Tuesday with a Raw recap for you. For myself, the Rob, my tag team partner, Jerry Valeri. Thank whoever it was for the studio time, because I know we were late today.
I will, and I'm going to laugh when you end up hating The Legend of Zelda, because you'll get to the end and realize that Link has to fight Shane McMahon at WrestleMania.
Have a good day, everybody. We'll be back on Tuesday.
That would be epic.